Welcome to Freezer Milk Podcast. I'm your host, Bridget, along with my husband, Chris. Weekly, we talk about being parents, what happened that week. It's basically our therapy session to vent out everything that we went through. We are boy parents. We have 3 boys, Enzo, Rhett, and Arlo. And if you'd like to get to know us a little bit better, you can check out our website, freezermilk.com, or follow us on Instagram at Freezer Milk Podcast. We also have YouTube and TikTok.
And then Rhett
Thanks so much for listening.
Yeah, yesterday was a tough morning.
That didn't work well.
It was fun.
Yeah. It's kind of been a rough week.
Yes, it has.
So let's see, last week it was right before I left for LAND conference. So I went to our LAND conference and you stayed home with all 3 kids.
I did.
How'd that go? Did you get lots of really good sleep?
I didn't get any sleep. I'm still recovering and it's Friday. It's 5 days later.
Did you realize what it's like to have Arlo get up all the time?
I didn't realize he got up so many times during the night.
Yeah, it's a lot.
5-6 times.
And it takes a while.
Sometimes I had to let him just cry it out because I'm like, I'm not going to continue to just keep giving you milk.
It takes a while to go back to sleep too. Like as an adult, I always struggle with that. When he gets up, like he'll go right back to sleep after 10 minutes, and I'll be laying there in bed like, da 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 da. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, it was a rough weekend.
Do you feel like it had to like gain a little bit of appreciation for me?
You had help.
You had help too.
For a day.
Yeah, that was your choice.
Yeah.
But in general, like, do you feel like that helped you kind of like be able to see what it's like for me when you have to travel, or?
Not really. I'm an adult. I decided to have kids. It's my responsibility. Yes, fine. I'll give you a little bit.
Tiny bit. So my aunt came and helped you.
Yeah.
She's really helpful.
Yeah. We were just having attitude issues with some of them.
Yeah. But she's, like, I'm so glad you had her come, because I feel like she gave you some time just to go have you time, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that nice?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I have trouble staying away. Like, even if I get you time, I don't know what to do with myself, so. I, mean,
I didn't know either.
I think I went to Home Depot or something.
Remember, I, like, went and walked a model home, because I was like, I don't know what to do with myself when you were gone.
Yeah.
She was like, go take some time for you. And I'm like, what's that?
What the hell am I supposed to do?
I don't know what to do.
I haven't done that in so long, so I wouldn't even know where to begin. So I think I went to Home Depot maybe. I think I ran I might have run an errand or 2, but all in all, I didn't really take... Well, I did a little bit of work in my office. But.
Yeah. The LAND conference was good. It was my first time being away from Arlo, and then my second time being away from Rhett. The only other time I was away from Rhett was when Arlo was born. That was kind of tough.
Yep.
I struggled. My milk supply struggled. Have you noticed my milk's been, like, way low now?
Mm-hmm.
It was like, no, you left for 4 days. We're not okay with that.
Right.
But
yeah, he didn't appreciate it. He was ornery the majority of the time. He was just out of sorts, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's also, like, the first time that I've left him, so he didn't know I would be coming back.
Yeah.
So he just thought, like, she's gone. What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Rhett did well. Enzo, not so much. I mean, he did the best he could, but he was struggling through some stuff, so.
Yeah. So then I got back, and Monday, Enzo was doing some school stuff, and I went up and checked on him because he wasn't coming down when we were yelling for him.
Yep.
He was on YouTube.
Which is a no-no.
Which we talked about, like, school computer is for school. Like, it's our computer, we use it for school, though, but he's not allowed to use it for anything else. And as soon as I walked in to where he was at, like, he, like, immediately closed the browser and was like, sorry. And he was just watching game throughs, like, video game stuff.
That's not the point.
Yeah.
He has dedicated screen time throughout the day, and he abused that.
Yeah. So, I didn't address it that night, but I started, like, deep diving and doing, like, let me look at all the YouTube watch history, and let me look at the Google history, and let me see the timestamps of, like, what time he's doing all of this. And you said it really well. You said that you felt gutted by it.
Yeah, he's never really been in serious trouble.
Yeah.
Like, he's never done anything to me, or, maybe not to you as well.
That was like a big abuse of trust.
Which was a big misuse of trust. And this was one of those situations where he was going behind our backs. And it was a tough pill to swallow, you know?
Yeah.
now I kind of understand what my parents went through a little bit.
Right.
Except obviously my parents went through a lot worse. But it was a tough one. I struggled with it for 24 hours, just kind of going through it. And
it was like, it's a
understand
big defining moment of like, oh, like you're no longer like a little kid.
No, you are very
Like you are approaching preteens and
pubescence and whatnot.
you know, the shiny charm of being a small child
It's gone.
is gone. You've grown.
Yeah.
You know.
You're coming into your own person. You have your own wants and own. There's things that you're interested in, but we've had he had an issue with YouTube when he was younger. Like, we just didn't feel that he should be on YouTube because it can be kind of dangerous.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he had an issue with it. Like, we just were like, hey, like, as parents, like, we're going to decide, like, maybe we don't want you watching this because we can't really monitor what is being shown unless we sit and watch every single video with you.
Which, that's not what we want.
So, I reached out to his dad, let him know. His dad was shocked. Like, he had no idea either. He was just like, wow, like, I did not expect him to be, like, abusing trust like this.
Yeah.
So I think we all kind of had to go through about 24 hours of, like, kind of letting it set in that, like, oh, like, we're here. Every kid goes through it, but we just weren't expecting to be there yet.
Yeah.
You know? And it was kind of a bummer, too, because we were, we were both really, you and I were, like, really upset on Monday night when we found out about it. Or no, Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday night when we found out about it. But I also had a DC day planned with Enzo for Wednesday, and I was like...
Because he's getting ready to go back home.
Yeah, he's getting ready to go back to Arizona, and so I've taken the, time off this week to be able to spend more time with him before he goes back home. And we're going to do just a mother-son, like, solo date down to DC for the day. And I was like, I really don't want to address this. And then try to go to DC with him being, like, potentially really moody and really upset with me, But I was like, we have to address it eventually. And I'd asked his dad, to be able to, like, jump on a Zoom and we all address it together so that Enzo realized it's...
Not just us.
Yeah, like, we're all aware of this. We're all disappointed by it. We're all, gonna get through it together kind of thing. But you were a little upset with me that first night, too.
Yeah.
That I didn't address it right away.
Yeah.
That was one of the... We don't often... At least I don't think we very often don't see eye to eye on, like, parenting decisions. I feel like for the most part you and I are pretty in step.
Yeah.
But maybe explain a little bit, like, why you felt like that was not okay originally. I think eventually you were on board and you agreed with the way we handled it, but that first night, like, you were like, what do you mean you're not discussing it at all with him?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that I felt that it was something that we needed to shed light on. You wanted to wait until the following day, because his dad wanted to wait until the following day because they didn't want to do it that night either.
They had some stuff going on, so they didn't have the time going. They didn't have the time to.
I don't remember exactly what my reasoning was, but
just felt like it needed to be addressed right away, I think.
Yeah, I think it was more than that. I thought that, I don't know. I don't remember. But anyway, we just didn't see eye to eye on it. It was just kind of a situation where I thought it should have been handled immediately, that he needed to know the severity of the situation. He needed to understand that there was every action that we make or take or decision that we make, there's going to be a consequence, whether it's good or bad. And in this case, was an action or a decision that he made that has a bad consequence.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that needed to wait necessarily. But I also, when we had discussed it further, you decided, hey, I'm not really in the right mindset to have this conversation with him. I'm a little mad. I'm really mad.
Yeah.
And I want Jordan to be there, his dad, so that he understands this is unity. This isn't, Mom and Chree are the evil ones, and they're always so hard on me, yada yada yada. So we ended up having our conversation the following day, which was ironic because Enzo had told me that he knew something was up after we had the conversation. But
yeah.
because he's a pretty receptive kid. But so we decided to have that scheduled meeting later in the day on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And all in all, I think it went pretty well. He handled it very well, in my opinion.
I was expecting him to be like very angry and like crying, like mad crying, not like sad crying, like mad crying.
I got the vibe that he was more disappointed in himself.
Yeah. I was really surprised on how he handled it. It was very, very mature on how he handled it.
Yeah.
He was a little moody, which is much, much less moody than I was expecting him to be. And we, put together some consequences, and he had to, turn in his switch to us and that kind of stuff. But after the conversation, he was kind of sulky, and you're like, hey, let's go for a walk. And what happened when you went on your walk?
I think he just kind of let his guard down. He really impressed me, because when we were getting ready to walk out the door, he said it's really not that big of a. I didn't even ask him anything. He just said it's not that big of a deal that I lost my screen time, because it's just a short period in a long life that I'm going to have. And I'm like, wow, that's like really mature.
Right?
I'm like, I don't think I would have handled it that way. And I'm like, almost 40.
When you told me that, I was like, damn.
I was like, that's pretty clutch. And he, we went on the walk, and he just kind of opened up and let his guard down, and was just like, this is kind of where I'm at, and this is this, and that's that. And I was just like, wow. Like, me and him had a conversation about, me and when I was younger and the mistakes I made. And, we're not trying to punish him in any way. We're trying to help him. And he was just like, I know. And essentially, he just said that, I need to be better when it comes to this kind of stuff and be honest. And honesty's kind of going to go a long way with us. So, all in all, it was a really good talk. And I think his attitude's been, the past couple of days, has been much better.
Yeah, I would agree.
But now we have a big hurdle, because we have to take away the tablet from Rhett Holton.
Ugh.
Because he's getting to a place where
he has an unhealthy relationship with it.
He has a very unhealthy relationship with it. So when we decided that we're going to wait until after Enzo goes back to Phoenix to his dad's, which is this week,
yeah,
that we're going to take his tablet from him. And he's really probably not going to get it back for anything.
Yeah.
Because he's just too young, and he doesn't understand the concept of moderation.
Yeah.
He gets
we
up.
originally got it for the flight when we flew out here.
Yeah, and then it turned into
And then it was for car rides, and then it turned into.
He has it all the time.
Yeah.
And that's on us, completely as parents, and it makes me feel fucking terrible that I let him just watch it. But when he was going through his really whiny phase, it was a saving grace, right? Because you could just give him this tablet and it would shut him up. But that was kind of more of a laziness, I think, on my part. I don't want to deal with his whininess, so I'm just going to give him the tablet to babysit him. So.
And as parents, we go through ebbs and flows of. Sometimes we do great things as parents, like you going for the walk with Enzo and him being super open about feelings, and you having amazing dialogue with him. I value that relationship that the two of you have so much, because he doesn't do that with anyone else, with any other parent in his life.
Yeah.
You are the person that he feels comfortable to open up to, which is so amazing. And then sometimes we phone it in as parents. Every parent does, and sometimes we phone it in with giving Rhett Holden a tablet because we have, dealing with baby, or Enzo's on a Zoom for school and baby's crying and we don't need Rhett screaming, whining in the background. It is what it is. Every parent phones it in sometimes. That's just parenting multiple littles. Mm-hmm. So, give yourself grace. Don't feel terrible that you gave him a tablet or I gave him a tablet. It is what it is. And now we're going to pivot when Enzo goes back to his dad. So we know it's going to be a tough couple of days. Rhett Holden's going to be cranky.
Yeah, he likes his tablet.
So we decided to wait till, we have a lot going on this weekend with, some family weddings and stuff like that we're, doing, being in and attending. So I think it'll be good to start it once we take Enzo back to his dad in Arizona and get a chance just to concentrate on him.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we appreciate y'all listening. We got a bunch of stuff going on today.
Yeah. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. You can check us out at
FreezerMilk.com.
or Instagram.
Freezer Milk Podcast.
Until next week, guys. Thanks.
Don't forget, parenting is a trip. We are all here on the journey with you together. Thanks so much for listening.